Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle two English tenses that can be a real headache, right? The present continuous and the present perfect. They both sound like they're all about the present, but they mean totally different things. So, let's dive in and get this all straightened out. So, just look at these two sentences. I am reading a book versus I have read a book. On the surface, they seem pretty similar, don't they? But one is happening right this second, and the other is already done but still matters. Nailing this difference is absolutely key to sounding more natural when you speak English. But hey, no worries at all. We're going to break this down piece by piece. By the end of this, you're not just going to understand them, you're going to feel super confident using them in your own conversations. Okay, first up, let's talk about the present continuous. The best way to think about this one? It's the live action tense. It's all about what is happening at this very moment. So here's the main idea. If something is literally happening as you are speaking, you've got to use the present continuous. And if you need a little mental shortcut, just remember this phrase, right now actions. Simple as that. And the grammar, it's actually really simple. All you do is take the right form of the verb to be, am, is, or are, and then you just tack ing onto the end of your main verb. And you can see how it works here. It doesn't matter who you're talking about. I am walking. She is walking. They are walking. See that? The only thing that changes is the am, is, or are. The ing part stays the same. Now, there are a couple of little spelling rules to watch out for. For verbs that end with a silent E, like write or dance, you have to remember to drop that E before you add the ing. So write becomes writing. And here's the other big one. For short verbs that go consonant-vowel-consonant, like run or sit, you have to double that last letter. That's why run turns into running. It's a tiny detail, I know, but it makes a huge difference in your writing. Okay, so we've totally got the right now actions down. Now let's switch gears and talk about our second tense, the one that builds a bridge from the past to right now. Let's talk about the present perfect. The whole point of the present perfect is to connect a past action to the present moment. The action is over, it's done, but it has a result or some kind of importance now. So, the key phrase to remember for this one? Finished, but important now. The structure here is also nice and consistent. You just use either have or has, and then you follow it with something called the past participle of the verb. Don't let that name scare you, we'll break it down. For example, you'd say, I have walked, but for someone else you might say, he has walked. The only thing you have to think about is whether to use have or has. The past participle part, in this case walked, doesn't change. Now for the good news, for most verbs, we call them regular verbs, making the past participle is super easy. You basically just add ed, just like you would for the simple past. And yeah, there are some tiny spelling tweaks for words ending in e or y, but they are very predictable. But of course, this is where English gets a little tricky. Not all verbs play by the rules. We gotta talk about irregular verbs. So think of this next bit as your personal cheat sheet for the present perfect. It's true. Some verbs just do their own thing. They don't take that nice ed ending. They transform in their own unique ways. And honestly, you just have to learn them. But don't sweat it, we're just gonna focus on the most important ones. Here are 7 of the most common irregular verbs out there. I promise, you see these constantly. So go becomes gone, eat becomes eaten, see becomes seen. If you can just get this short list down, your English is going to sound so much better, so much faster. All right, enough with the theory, right? Theory's great, but practice is where you really start to own this stuff. So let's try putting what we've learned into action. Okay, first question for you. Take a look at this sentence on the screen. The big clue here is reading, that ing form. So what does that tell us about when the action is happening? Exactly. It means it's happening right now. It's a right now action. So we use the present continuous. Ella está leyendo un libro. Okay, how about this one? I have finished my homework. The action of finishing is done. It's in the past. But it has a really important result right now, which is that you're free. So, what kind of action is this? That's it. It's a finished but important action. The past event directly impacts the present. He terminado mi tarea. You guys are getting this. Nice work. So, let's just do a super quick final recap.
When you think present continuous, I want you to think right now actions. And the structure is always am, is, or are, plus that ing verb. And when you think present perfect, I want you to think finished but important actions. And that structure is have or has, plus that past participle.
And that's pretty much it. The most important thing you can do now is just to start using this. So here's a little challenge for you. Right now, think about your own day. What are you doing at this exact moment? And what have you already done today? Answering that question is the best practice you can get. Thanks for hanging out with me.